Here are solutions to homework set number 7 for ECE 461-661 control systems. This homework set looks at error constants, Routh criteria, and sketching root-locus plots. Now the first problem is about error constants. The idea behind error constants is I want to take a dynamic system and assign a number to it. Kind of difficult assigning a number to a dynamic system, but that's kind of what the idea is. So if I have this system, I have a system type and the error constants Kp, Kv, and error per step input. The system type is just how many poles are at s equals 0. This one has 0, 1, 2, and 0. The error constants Kp is the DC gain. Plug in s equals 0, and what do you get? And here I get the number 1. Here I get the number infinity, infinity squared, and minus 1. Kv is as s goes to 0, I want to approximate the system as Kv over s. It's an integrator with the gain. So one way to do that is multiply by s, let s go to 0. So multiply by s, let s go to 0, I get 0. Multiply by s, I get, the s's cancel, and I get 1. Multiply by s, I still have a 1 over s, infinity, and 0. Now the steady state error per step input, that's kind of what you care about, is 1 over Kp plus 1. So this has a DC gain of 1, steady state. So the error constant is 1 over 1 plus 1. That's 1 over Kp plus 1. If you try it, let's go to Circuit Lab. Circuit Lab is just an all-around great program. It works for electronics, signals, circuits, control systems. I'll just build a circuit in Circuit Lab. This is a fairly new feature. Take the transfer function, semi-block. This is the 20 over s plus 1, s plus 10. If I simulate it, shrink this down so you can see it. Let's do simulate. Let's simulate it for 10 seconds. Make the step size 1,000 times smaller, 10 milliseconds. Look at the voltage at R and Y. Run it, and there's your step response. So here's the output. It should go to 1. Here's my set point R. Here's Y. And it's different because I got the wrong system. It should be 20 over s plus 2, s plus 10. Now run this puppy. And here's the output, 0.5. I missed the output by half. That's the steady state error per step input, the difference between R and Y. If I try the next system, make it a type 1 system, in Circuit Lab, let's make this s times s plus 2, s plus 10. Run that puppy. Type 1 systems have no error per step input. Make that a type 2 system. Well, on paper, a type 2 system should have no error per step input. So in Circuit Lab, 20, s plus 0.3 over s squared, s plus 2, s plus 10. Run. And type 2 systems are hard to stabilize, but this one actually was stable. It also winds up with no error per step input. And finally, the last case, I can actually have negative Kp's. This should have an error of 1 over Kp plus 1, 1 over 1 minus 1, infinity. So if I try it, here's the step response. It just takes off. If I actually change the problem a little bit, let's make this 30. In this case, Kp is, let's make it easier, 40. Kp is minus 2. Then the steady state error is 1 over Kp plus 1. 1 over minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. If I simulate that, now the error is minus 1. I overshoot by 1. So you can't have negative error constants. Positive error means I'm short of the output. A negative error means I overshot it. Can happen. On the homework, I didn't expect you to simulate it in Circuit Lab, but if you want to see what's going on, you can. Routh criteria. Routh criteria finds the range of K that results in a stable system. So for example, if I have this cubic system, what range of K makes it stable? So what I do is I multiply out the polynomial, then take all the odd terms. So there's 1s cubed, 76s, first term, third term. Take the even terms. The second term, fourth term are these together. Now set up the Routh table. What I would do is start with the easy terms. When you have 2 zeros to the right, this term is 0. When I have 2 zeros to the right, this term is 0. When I have 1 0 down here, this term comes straight over. The only one you have to work for is this guy. That one right there is minus the determinant of 120, 76, minus 240 over 2k over 20. Grind it out, you get 88 minus 0.1k. So there's the Routh table. To determine the range of k for stability, there can be no sign flips in the first column. So positive, positive. 88 minus 0.1k is positive, meaning k is less than 880. And minus 240 plus 2k is positive, meaning k is greater than 120. So the range of k that gives you a stable system is bigger than 120 and less than 880. That's the range of k for stability. If I have this fourth order polynomial, again, multiply it all out, then take the odd terms. There's the first term, third term, here's the fifth term. Take the even terms, second term, fourth term, that's everything. Now what I do is fill in the easy ones. This comes straight down. 2 zeros means this is 0. 2 zeros means this is 0. 1 0 there means this comes straight down. So there's really just two terms I have to work for. To get the first term, a, it will be minus the determinant of 129, 284, 1060 over 29. Grind that out. It's 29 times 284 minus 1060 over 29, 247.45. The next one. Take these two terms, 29, 247. On the right, 1060, 1200 minus 2k, over 247. Either 247 times 1060 minus 29 times 1200 over 247, 919. Minus 29 over times 2k over 247. That's B. And C already did. For stability, there can be no sign flips in the first column. So positive, positive, positive. This has to be positive, meaning k is less than 3922. And C has to be positive, meaning k is greater than minus 600. So the net result is k is between minus 600 and plus 3922. That's Routh criteria. It tells you the range of k for stability. What Routh criteria doesn't tell you is what range of k gives you a good response. It just says stable. To get a good response, use root-locus plot. On the root-locus, if I have this cubic, what I would do initially is start with the open loop poles. When k equals 0, the roots are at minus 2, minus 10, minus 12. I then do the real axis loci. That's even, odd. If there's an odd number of poles and zeros to the right, that's the real axis loci. So here's even, 0. Here's odd, even, odd. Let's see, asymptotes. I have 3 poles, so I have 3 asymptotes. Well, 3 poles, no zeros. As this goes to infinity, I've got 3 extra poles. I go to the infinity at 3 different angles. That's your plus 60, minus 60, 180. The center of mass is where the asymptotes intersect. So that's plus 2, minus 10, minus 12 over 3, minus 6.67 is the center of mass. So that's my asymptote intersect. Trying a little bit more accurately, right here. The j omega crossing. I almost have to do a numerical search. At what point on the j omega axis do the angles add up to 180 degrees? That's a numerical problem. I just do a search. Keep searching until the angles add up to 180. Winds up being j 8.718. The breakaway point, a couple ways to do that. What I like doing is do a search. Search at x plus j.1, search until the angles add up to 180 degrees. When they do, that's basically the breakaway point. Another way you can do that is treat this as a minus charge, minus charge, minus charge. The zeros are plus charges, there aren't any. Take an electron, and where does it come to equilibrium? The equilibrium point is your breakaway point. So doing that, I can search until the angles add up to 180. That's minus 2.295. Here's another way. Take the derivative, set it equal to 0. That's kind of hard. That's 2.29. So what happens is this pole takes off left. This pole comes to the right. This pole shifts left as k increases. At this point, I have a double pole. They split apart and go to the asymptote, passing through the j omega crossing. So that's your root locus plot. Now what this tells you is this point right here is, well, this point is k equals 0. Over here is k goes to infinity. The range of k for stability is right here. K has to be at least here. That's your minimum k. And here's the maximum k. Now all the Routh criteria tells you is between these 2 points, I'm stable. Doesn't tell you what the response is, just says stable. That's where root locus is nice. I can sit there and say as I crank up k, I've got real poles, it speeds up. I start getting oscillations, more and more overshoot, then I go unstable. But that's kind of next week's assignment. Pick a k, where in the root locus do you want to be? That's gain compensation. Topic for the next homework set. Problem 5. Here's a 4th order polynomial. Sketch the root locus. And so what I do is I start with the real axis loci. When k equals 0, I've got a root at minus 2, minus 5, minus 10, minus 12. Real axis loci is even odd. When there's an odd number of poles to the right, I have real axis loci. So here's even, odd, even, odd, even. Asymptotes. I have 4 poles, no zeros. So 4 times theta is 180. Theta is plus minus 45 degrees, plus minus 135 degrees. The center of mass is where the asymptotes intersect. That would be the average of 2, 5, 10, 12, 7.25. So the asymptotes come out at 7.25 at 45 degrees, minus 45, plus 135, minus 135. Or do it down here. The j omega crossing. Do a numerical search. Where on the j omega axis do the angles add up to 180? Doing a numerical search at 6.06. Then the breakaway point. Again, do a numerical search. Search. Go along the x-axis, x plus j.1. Where do the angles add up to 180? Here's one solution. Here's another solution. That's basically the breakaway point. So what happens is these poles come together, split apart at the breakaway point, go to the asymptote, passing through the j omega crossing. These 2 poles come together, split apart at the breakaway point, and then go to the other asymptote. And that's what the root locus looks like. So that is homework set number 7 for ECE 461-661.